And we are live. How we doing, everyone? Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is dub day, and it's going to be exciting for everyone. So, yeah, how's everyone doing? Let me know if the sound is okay in the chat, because that's one of the things I'm always worried about, that you won't actually be able to hear me. So let me know that you can hear me down in the chat. I'm going to have to step out in like 2 minutes just to let someone out of the house, and then I will be right back. But just for now, just let me know that you can hear me okay, and that'd be great. How's everyone's day going? How's things? All good? You guys hear me okay? Let me know in the chat. Hey, sound is good. Excellent. Thank you very much, Stephen. Yes, the store is down. That was with the kind of the breaking news this morning, which has been really fun. That basically means that they are updating something in terms of hardware, which is good. It means something is going to be going on sale, or at least being previewed ready for sale today. That is a big difference to normal as well. The past few years when we've had no hardware, that is what has happened. It's not gone to the store being down because they haven't had anything to update it with. So yeah, pretty good sign. It looks like the MacBook Airs most likely, because if this was going to be the Mac Pro, yes, that would probably be updated onto the site, but it also means that probably wouldn't actually go up to go on sale quite yet. It would go onto the website for people to be able to check in and see what was going on, but it would be unlikely that would actually be available, to buy straight away. So I think the most likely thing is still the MacBook Air. I think there's a decent chance, though, that we might actually get iMac being updated to M2 as well, and potentially the the iPad Pro. There's a decent possibility that might actually get updated to M2 at the same time, especially as we've now had the MacBook, the iPad. Oh, it's so confusing when they use the same names for things. The iPad Air now having M1 inside as well. Let's just say hi to a few people in the chat. Linda Lawson, hello. The Waffball, how you doing? Shook K, okay, good. Solomon Charaya, can't be that far off. You can hear me, excellent. Thank you so much. Rigsec, thank you. Good to see you all, guys. We've got a few people in the chat already. This is fun. It's a breakfast time one for the States, and yeah. Bit of fun for everyone. Right, let me just go and check if I need to let people out of the house right now. We were hoping to just have all these bits in place before, but as happens with these things, this is going to be a much more kind of chill kind of stream for this one, because obviously we're just kind of preparing for the day. It's going to be pretty good, and I think there we go. We didn't need that on yet, did we? Let's just knock that out of the way. And now at least I can hide it all away. Alan B Unboxings and News, how you doing? It's been a while, my friend. Andre Louis, welcome. Little Mountain Life, good morning. How is everyone feeling? Is everyone excited for today's show? I think it's going to be good. Yeah, Dub's finally here. It seems like it's been forever since we've had a proper event to do, isn't it? Is that just me, or does it just genuinely feel like it's been a super long time? So yeah, MacBook Airs, that's the most likely thing. That's the one that I got my fingers crossed for. If I can work out the finances, that's the one that I will be looking to pick up. Probably spread it out over a year or something, and that would be fine. Yeah, everyone else, let me know what you are the most excited for down in the chat, because I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be a good event. I've got a good feeling today. Waffball, your last week as a 20-something. Oh my word! So you're turning 30 this week. What day? Are you doing anything good? Are you going anywhere good? Andre Louis, waiting to see if I should buy my wife an iPad or actually just a MacBook Air. I feel she still needs a computer of some sort. It depends what she needs to do. The iPad is great if you're doing anything reasonably basic. Like my mum uses an iPad as everything that she needs computer-wise. Does emails great. Does pictures great. Videos, watching YouTube, watching whatever she wants to watch. She doesn't do anything particularly taxing, I guess. So yeah, I think for that kind of use, it's a really good one. How's the video looking for you today, guys, as well? I think I've finally got the colours right on these live streams a little bit better. Before they've always looked a little bit either overly contrasty or just like not natural on the colors. Again, we're using the OBS bot webcam. This is the 4K tilt and pan one that moves around and chases me around the room. So if I go over here, then it'll follow me, and if I go over here, it's basically like center stage, but where you actually move the camera instead of panning within it. But I think it's pretty good. I'm still really quite happy with this. This is probably going to be my permanent webcam, so I should actually finish off the review for it soon, since we've been using it quite regularly and it's not let me down yet. The only thing it does do is if I wander off, then it shoots up at the ceiling, and it's just a bit confusing. You have to grab it. But yeah, all pretty good. Andre Louis video looks great. Oh, well, thank you, Andre. You are my number one for video color grading. I'll be honest with you, my friend. But thank you. I appreciate your feedback, sir. Yeah, next Saturday. Okay, you've been to Disney World? Fantastic, Waffball. Very nice. Do you think Gurman is right about the iPad Air the Air lineup not being fully colourful, but rather normal colours plus blue? It seems like it would be weird to do just regular colours and one weird colour. But Gurman tends to know what he's talking about. I don't think it's one of those things that we're particularly, does it matter, I guess, is what I'm asking. I don't think it matters. I think it would be lovely if they do. But if they're going to come in those original colours, are we likely to get the white bezels and the white keyboard? Like, would they match well with space grey and silver and gold? I don't know. And if that's the case, then are we completely wrong about all of the design stuff? Are we not going to get a notch? Are we not going to... It just kind of throws it all into disarray a little bit. I'm wondering if there's a mixture of devices here that he's been hearing about, and we've got a bit of a crossover between maybe the old 13-inch MacBook Pro, which I think will become the MacBook, being in the original colours, and then perhaps the MacBook Air does get the pretty colours. Maybe that's where we're going with it. That would make a lot more sense to me. But yeah, let me know what you guys think as well down in the chat. Thank you for that one, Chris Ickton. Chris Ickton. I don't know why I made a meal of saying your name. Sorry, sir. Little Mountain Life. I actually have a Genius Bar appointment at my local store during the presentation, hopefully to fix my 14-inch M1 Max MacBook Pro. A bug somehow got stuck in the centre of my display. That's very strange. Yeah, I wonder if there's... I didn't even know that Apple stores were open during these things. Right, bear with me 2 seconds. I will be right back with you. We're just going to put you on hold quickly. And we are back. Yeah, so, yeah, let me have a quick look if I've missed anything in the chat there. Yeah, I didn't think that Genius Bar was actually open during the presentations. I thought Apple Store was closed. They used to, I'm sure, because I think they used to do setup during that time. So as soon as they opened afterwards, there was more interesting stuff going on. I'm back. Yeah, sorry, I should have put some elevator music or something on. That would have been good. But yes, I think Anthony McIntosh, the panning is very smooth, definitely a keeper. Yeah, I agree, this thing's awesome. And actually it didn't wander off while I was out of the room this time, which is nice. Is it still chasing? It sure is. But yes, we are back. We've got another hold screen that I've set up as well. But yeah, there's been some interesting stuff like that. The Apple Store being down today, that's a big clue for us that we are getting some sort of hardware announcements. I think that's going to be very interesting indeed. I think I can't wait to see what they actually bring for us at this event. I do think we're going to see our Mac Pro. I do think it's probably going to be M1 based, even though everyone's saying, oh no, it's going to be M2. It's going to have faster single core. It doesn't need single core to be faster. I know John Prosser is very vocal about the fact that he's not interested in it unless the single core is faster. But if you look back at the Mac Pros that we've had in the past as well, they don't have particularly high single core scores. They just have massively multi-core scores for when they're doing the big tasks that you can spread out across these things, sort of brute forcing through stuff. So I think it's still going to be M1 based on that. I think we are going to see M2. There's been weird conversations about whether M2 is really M2 or if it's M1 and a bit. Like I feel like as long as they call it M2 and they base it on A15, then it's M2. If they say that the cores are still from M1 and that they've either just put more in or they've overclocked them slightly, that would be different. But I'm pretty confident we're going to be getting A15 cores in this, so Avalanche and Blizzard cores for the performance and efficiency ones. Aaron Van Vot asks, what would be new in macOS 13? This is one of the difficult things. We actually don't really know. There has been rumours that it's going to have something of an overhaul in terms of the visuals, a little bit more simple visually, I would guess, because at the moment we still have kind of like edge lighting. If you look at the windows on macOS, there is still like a slight glint of reflection as if you've got like a bezel on the corners of things. I think making that even flatter would be good. I think, not much of a feature, but, just a slight tweak to the look of things. I think that would be absolutely fine. I do feel like we're still kind of slightly skeuomorphic on the Mac, a little bit more than we are on the iPhones and the iPads. I think the iOS stuff went to that very flat design quite early on. iOS 7, I think it was the redesign, and yet the Mac still kind of feels very similar. Even after Big Sur, we've still got a lot of those kind of rounded edges and the kind of edge highlights to kind of give things a little bit of layering. I'd prefer to go to kind of slight transparency so that you can see what's behind what and that sort of thing. I think that would be good. Let's see, Andre Louis, I've been reading that the store is down, so that must surely mean products to pre-order starting today. Interesting times. Now, it wouldn't necessarily mean that the pre-orders would start today, but it does mean that they would be going up on the store. Like when we have an Apple event, the store goes down, and then when it comes back up, all of the new product pages are there, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you can buy them on the day. It sometimes means that you can buy them later that week, but there's not a pre-order page, but an information page up for the products, and then the orders start at a certain time. However, in the past with Macs, we have certainly had the case where as soon as the store comes back up, pre-orders can begin. So that's definitely a potential. Little Mountain Life, we never shut down the store for presentations when I worked at the Apple retail. Always tried to take my lunch break during them and stream the show in back of house. See, I really think that I understand why they're not doing it at the moment, but Apple wants this kind of town hall feel at the Apple stores where they become a place where people kind of come and gather and talk and just kind of hang out, and that's why you got free Wi-Fi, and the Apple store staff are happy to help you like charge devices and all that kind of stuff. Why are we not, once COVID at least is a little bit further behind us, hold events there? I actually emailed Apple marketing to see if they would allow bars to show the WWDC keynotes or product announcements, because I think it would be great for cities to have. Yeah, I think it would be great to have like a place in a city where you could go and gather with the other people that are really passionate in your city and watch the Apple events together. It's kind of like our Super Bowl, Today is basically the Super Bowl of Apple. It's great. So I'm really excited. I think that the Apple stores would be a great place for that. But if Apple don't want to do it themselves, let someone else do it. Michael Moy, switched to my iMac, normally watch your show in the kitchen, putting away the dishes, making coffee, etc. Yeah, I watch a lot of my YouTube while I'm doing like housework and stuff. That tends to be where I am. In the command center here, in the iCave, this is really where I sort of make, and I watch a bit in here, but it tends to be if I'm like scripting, I'll do some stuff in the background or things like that. But yeah, let me know down in the chat, guys, what is the thing you are most excited for today at WWDC? Is it one of the software platforms getting an update? Is it the iPadOS updates that we've been hearing about, which will take us to doing, multitasking properly, or feeling a lot more like a Mac? Is it something around the Apple Watch? Because I believe they're going to update the sleep tracking is one of the big things that we've been hearing about. For macOS itself, though, I think getting universal control is great, but I think people aren't taking advantage of it enough because it was so long after WWDC that it actually launched that I think most people have forgotten about it. I've used it like 4 times. And it's one of those magical features that actually doesn't appear to be super helpful at this point, or they haven't found the use case that actually makes it helpful. So I think that there might be something around that. Megan and Linda Lawson in the chat saying that Apple stores should sell coffee. They don't sell coffee right now. They should. Really good coffee would be great. Apple, can you imagine like an Apple branded coffee machine, like silent, all aluminium, maybe a bit of pine trim around the bottom, so it looks like it would fit in an Apple store? I think that'd be awesome. Be very happy. Cafe Max, as they have at Apple Campus. That's where all the guys are today. I think it's worth keeping an eye on what's coming out from Sam Cole at iUpdate. I think he's on site now today. I think John Prosser was going to head up there. I don't think he has done, but that would have been really cool. So Matty aka Lefty. Okay, fair enough. Is saying it's iPadOS that you're most excited for. Pedro Gordino, €500 M1 Mac Mini. Yeah, I've been saying this since, like, if you go back to my videos from late 2020, $499, like $500 Mac Mini would be bang on for me, because that's where it started, and I think Apple is trying to get it back to that point. That's why they brought the price of the Mac Mini down when they did. I think they would have loved to be able to take it all the way down to that, but I think the volumes that they've been selling now for M1 has been pretty impressive. I don't think anyone's been upset by that. We have got 68 people watching the show now at the moment, and we've got 19 likes, so if you haven't hit the like button yet, I would really appreciate it. We will be streaming as well before the show and during the show and after the show. I think we're starting about half an hour before it starts, just to do the very, very last minute stuff. I won't be showing the live stream, but I'll be chatting my way through it, and then we'll be doing our usual live stream afterwards, because that's always one of the fun bits where we get really good interaction. It's really good fun to kind of be excited about this together. I think it's going to be really good. I'm very, very excited for this one this year. Let's see. So we've got Daisy in the Rain is ready for anything that comes today. Anthony McIntosh is saying, I wish Apple made washing machines sometimes too, so I feel you. There's so many pieces of tech that just don't work particularly well. Printers, the worst technology in the world. Has anyone made a printer that actually works reliably and in a reasonable way? I don't think they have. And I feel like if Apple was to do it as well, they might give us tanks that we can refill ourselves because of their sustainability stuff. That would be really weird that Apple would end up being one of the cheaper ones to get eventually, because you don't have to buy the DRM cartridge things, maybe. Michael Moy, my concern is spills, which can be a problem with electronics. I'd guess that they have a coffee machine in the back for employees. I'm sure that they do, but to be fair, the vast majority as well, like your iPhones, they're all water resistant, IP rated. I don't think maybe having a coffee lounge in there, not maybe wandering around with your coffees the whole time, but just having a coffee lounge area where you can sit and use your Mac. Loads of USB-C ports everywhere. Didn't developers get one Mac Mini for $500? They didn't get one for it. It was $500 deposit, I think, to get the developer transition kit, which had the A12Z inside. But they didn't get one to kind of keep for that. Matt, aka Lefty, I do all my work on an iPad, so proper Windows would be a huge step in the right direction. I'm still not sure that windowing is the way that you make iPads more productive. I don't see that that's actually the way that it would be better. I think the idea that the iPad needs to work the same way as a Mac in order to be useful is a little bit short-sighted. I think the multitasking paradigm that we have on the iPad isn't probably the best, but I don't think Windows is the best either. I think you have to kind of let the iPad be the iPad and find the ways to work with the iPad in the same way that we found ways to work with a computer. We shouldn't just transplant the ways that we work with the computer to the iPad just because we're used to it. That's what I think is the issue. I'm not great at explaining this one. Chris Icton is saying, I want better multitasking on iPadOS. I don't want iPad Pro to simply become a Mac. I want it to be that hybrid product that falls between the iPhone and the Mac, like Steve Jobs originally envisaged. Yeah, and it's got to be able to do certain things better than the iPhone or the Mac. And at the moment, the only thing really that it can do better is like reading ebooks, I guess. Consuming videos. It's not a productivity thing that is in most ways better, apart from like digital art. That's the other thing. But I think Apple wants it to be more mainstream than just a digital art platform, as cool as that is. Matty, aka Lefty, especially if they include external monitor support as well. This is the problem, is how do you do external monitor support with a touchscreen device? I understand you can connect keyboard and mouse, but then you can only use an external monitor properly if you're connected to keyboard and mouse. That's where the issues come, and the iPad is intended to be used on its own. The keyboard and trackpad is an accessory, so that's an add-on. So you'd have to have both add-ons in order to use it. That's the thing that I think is the tricky part for the iPad. Michael Moy would be ecstatic if they launched an Airport Extreme today. Yes, there has been talk of them going back to doing networking. My honest opinion is that if they're going to do it, I think it should be built into things like the Apple TV and the HomePods. So these devices that we spread around our house already basically become like a mesh Wi-Fi system. I think that would be tremendous. Whether they'll do something like that or not, I don't know. And then you get an airport hub that becomes like your main router in the home, maybe. But not holding my breath for that one today. It would be great if they did, though. Linda saying that Apple gave up on printers. Yeah, it was a very long time ago, though, wasn't it? Like early 90s? I don't think they've done anything since then. I feel like there's still a gap in that market. I know we're trying to minimize the amount that we print, but sometimes you still have to print stuff, and like my kids love to cut stuff out and stick it on their walls, and it would be great if I had a printer that didn't make me want to self-harm. Printers are decent. Apple really need to upgrade their mouse. Yeah, this thing's not great, but it's also not as bad as everyone makes out. Plus, my one doesn't have the charger in the bottom because it's the AA battery version. Costco doesn't have coffee. They sell ice cream, hot dog, pizzas, churros, but not coffee. Yeah, I think Apple doesn't have to do exactly the same as Costco, though. Phil Rosaleek, afternoon, how are you doing? Andre Louis, seemingly a lot of people want apps like Logic on iPad. I just don't see it that way personally. I'd never ever gig with that, prefer a more powerful laptop. Yeah, I get that, but I think for people that are making beats, or they want to be able to just pull some out of their bag and like throw down some ideas, I think that would be really good, and then being able to transfer that across. I guess you can kind of do that with GarageBand at the minute, and then send it to Logic if it works the same way as iMovie with Final Cut, which I'm guessing you can. But yeah, it would be really cool. I don't think it would be a bad thing to have the option of doing it on there, but I still don't think the majority of people would use the iPad over a MacBook for that. But it wouldn't be a bad thing to be able to make changes on the fly while you're out and about. Michael Moy, one of the big headaches with routers is that manufacturers don't support them over the long haul, while Apple does provide updates for a long time. They do. The only problem is then with something like Airport Utility. I don't think that works on the current Macs or iPads and iPhones, because I think it's still 32-bit, so all the hardware that I've got is now out of date. I would love them to update it. If that's not the case, though, brilliant. Megan. Yeah, the mouse does need a bit of love. Just moving the charge port would improve it a bunch. I feel like maybe we get a new mouse, because Johnny's been gone for a while, and everyone's blamed the mouse on Johnny Ive. Like, he doesn't have a great track record with mice. Like, there was the hockey puck one for the original iMac. That was pretty horrendous too. Yeah, maybe a mouse is something that they could improve quite a lot. One way you can actually click both buttons independently. That would be, very high end. Linda Lawson, I'd be happy if Apple fixed the supply chain. I mean, this is really not just an Apple problem at this point. It's a very difficult thing, and I think Apple is still doing some of the best in the industry with it. So, yeah, tricky one. Phil Rosa Leak, iCave Dave, you just mentioned one of the main differences between OS and iOS in that question. Out of the two OSs, which one is truly more productive? And in terms of macOS and iOS, I guess it is really the Mac. You can do a lot more with it. You can do more at the same time. But there's also just some very easy fixes that can be made on the iPad and the iPhone, like fixing where audio comes from and what stops audio and what can interrupt existing audio and that kind of thing. Tech Harmon, hey, how you doing? It's been a while, my man. Hey Dave, just wanted better HomeKit functions, i.e. high resolution cameras, being able to control 360 cameras in the HomeKit app rather than having to use third-party apps. Yeah, I mean that would be really good. As we just mentioned, like at the beginning of this stream, we're actually on a tilt and pan OBS bot for today, which is a 4K webcam that I got sent, which I really need to actually do the proper review of because they sent it a while ago. But we've used it for a few of these live streams, and to be fair, it's been absolutely rock solid. So pretty impressed with this. But yeah, the HomeKit stuff. HomeKit is still one of those things that I've really not got involved with massively, but it's I should. I really should. Peter Holdman, charging on the bottom is such an overblown problem when you have to charge it every 4 or 6 months. I completely agree. I mean, it is nice when you have some sort of Bluetooth issues, potentially, to be able to plug in and use the trackpad, which is my main interaction method anyway, or the keyboard. You know, you could actually have them wired if you want to. But yeah, with the mouse, it would be nice to just be able to use it as a wired mouse too. What a revelation that would be. James Apple, hello Dave. Hello James. Good to see you. Michael Moy, I'm surprised that someone hasn't come up with an L cable charger for the Apple mouse. I mean, you could, but you'd still be kind of running over it, and it would be a bit strange. Like, it could just be fixed. That would be the better option, I think. Onikazi, I'm guessing that's how you say it. I believe that the monkey paws wish from someone at Apple at the start of the company to make great products is they can never make a good mouse. Oh, maybe that is it. Maybe that is. Please do not try and diagram that sentence. Oh, I don't want to diagram it. No. Yeah, so that's kind of where we are at the moment, guys. The Apple Store is down. That basically confirms that we're getting some sort of hardware updates. Now, whether that's going to be our MacBook Air, Apple's naming at this point is so hard to keep track of. MacBook Air. That's the one that we've been expecting. We were expecting all the colours. Now Mark Gurman says maybe 3 colours plus blue. Just a weird kind of choice to do. Well, we'll do the old ones, but you can also have blue. So that almost sounds more like what they do with the iPhone Pros, where you get the 3 standard colours and then an interesting colour. Why would they do that on the Air? The iPad Air has all the colours, and then the iPad Mini has all the colours, and then we have regular colours on the base one, which I think that might be it. Maybe it's the MacBook Pro 13 that's actually coming in those 3 colours, and then we're actually getting colours on the Air. Maybe. That might make more sense. Maybe it's a bit of a crossed wires situation, but what do we know? James Apple says, are we getting hardware at DubDub when Brian Tong and MKBHD are going to Cupertino? Yeah, there's a lot of people in Cupertino for this, and it doesn't make any sense for it just to be a software event. I do think we're getting hardware. I know Mr. Who's the Boss is there. I know iUpdate, Sam Cole is there. I know a bunch of other people are there. Yeah, there's got to be some hardware. Plus, the Apple Store is down. That means that they're updating it to put new hardware in it, which means we're getting hardware today. We're getting hardware. It's confirmed. I'm going to use the confirmed word. I know this means that it's all going to go wrong now, and it's probably my fault. Your eyebrows may be at risk if you do not keep up payments on your house. Right, so what else have we got here? Peter Holtman, the big one on the mouse and keyboards is being able to connect to multiple devices. I mainly use Logitech MX because of that. Now, this is one of those things that Apple could probably solve in the same way that they do with AirPods, where it kind of just bounces between them automatically. I don't know quite how they'd do that, but maybe using the same kind of iCloud login thing. You don't even have to connect it to the individual devices. You don't have to have buttons on the top. That might be a thing, and basically when you use universal control, because you've got them all in the same place, you just move between them anyway. So there's a potential for that. I don't think that's beyond the realms of possibility. I'm not 100% sure how you'd implement it, but potential there, I think so. The waff ball, Apple doesn't have to make everything in-house. Let peripherals be done by those who specialise in them. Absolutely not. I don't want some dirty third-party peripheral made by some peasant that happens to have an Android phone. Why would I want such a thing? Never. Everything must be Apple-owned. In fact, if Apple made like streaming lights, I'd be down. I'd just throw these in the bin. These pieces of crap. Suleiman Chinara, I have the Microsoft mouse. You see, we can't trust people to use the proper devices when Microsoft are making stuff. Logitech stuff is great, says the Waffball. Unbelievable. You traitor. Giant Man Tech, Magic Mouse 3 with MagSafe. Yeah, I've been saying, I think since before we did the redesigns on the iMacs, that it would be great for the iMacs to just have a MagSafe puck in the bottom and be able to charge that on MagSafe as well. So, like, end of your day, pop your keyboard on there, pop your mouse on there, pop your trackpad on there, whatever needs charging while you're using them during the day. Pop your iPhone on there. That'd be great. I don't know why they've never done that. It's because I don't work there. That's why they haven't done it. Any thoughts on a new Mac Mini announcement coming today, Chris Icton? I hope so. I think there's a reasonable chance of it. I think, especially after B&H Photo yesterday decided to put up listings for the Mac Mini M2, which was an 8GB 256 model, and also a Mac Mini Tower with M1P, it said. So we could guess maybe M1 Pro. It might be that it's M1 Pro, maybe M2 Pro. We will see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, let's see what else we've got down here. Still hoping for ROS and a headset. ROS seems to have kind of been, I don't know. Everyone seems to have kind of tried to manage our expectations on that one a little bit. I wonder if Apple's put out some messaging through certain influencers to say, yeah, just kind of tame people's expectations on that, because I don't think we're going to see ROS now. Certainly not going to see, like, public-facing hardware. We might see some development kits. We might see some software kits for it, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. Now, just moving down here a little bit further, we've got the Waffball impatiently waits for iPad Mini 7 news. Now, iPad Mini, I think, is probably going to stay on the A series chips. iPad Air, it looks like, is moving on to the M series chips. I think that's probably going to be end of the year again, if it gets an update this year, which it probably should. Just keep that one in line with the iPhones. That makes all the sense. Then what else have we got? Alan Campen Entertainment. Hey, sexy, what time will it be live here in the UK? So the event goes live at 6 PM UK time, and we will be live streaming from 5:30. Cool. Definitely want a Tesla phone. Love Apple over Android. Well, you know, Tesla phone will be interesting if they've got any apps on it. I'm sure it'll be great, as long as anyone else does anything with it. James Apple, will AR/VR headset have an event in the fall? I have answers. Don't know yet. Let's see what happens today first, and then we'll worry about the fall later. I think we've got plenty of time for that. Suleiman Chanara and M2 iPad Pro today, if not when. I've said on Twitter, I think it could be one of those things that gets updated today. If it's just a chip bump and everything else basically stays the same, because then there wouldn't have been much difference in the supply chain that we would have seen. I think more likely, though, it would be September. And the reason for that is that if the iPad Pro is getting a big update in terms of iPadOS and making it more usable with these chips, and with the M series chips having more capability within iPadOS, it wouldn't make sense to release it now, because it wouldn't come with iPadOS 16 until September, when the software is released. So I think that's probably what will happen. Whereas the Macs, if we get new MacBook Airs, they can still come out with Monterey on there and then update in September. Just wouldn't make so much sense if they're really pushing the iPad Pro based on the new software. The Mac Tower seemed like an interesting listing. No idea what it could be. No, I don't know. I think M1 Pro is most likely. M2 Pro would be great, but I think it's more likely to be M1 Pro. Hamdog, happy Jubilee, Dave. Thank you so much. I've been the Queen now for 70 years, so thank you. I appreciate that. James Apple, are you buying a MacBook Air despite the purple colorway? We don't know what's happening with that yet. As I've said in this video a few times, I'm not sure that Mark Gurman's right on that. We'll see what's going on. Gaylord Fokker, what up, Dave? The stream's up. That's pretty much what's up right now. Eddie Gabriel, good morning. Looking pretty sleepy. Me or those guys? Because I've been awake for like 7 hours now. We've got a busy day ahead of us. I am going to be watching the WWDC, obviously live, and live streaming it this evening. The other one is ready to go. In fact, shall we grab the... No, I'm not going to grab the link right now. But if someone wants to grab the link and stick it into the chat, that would be awesome. That will be going around 5:30 today. And then we've also got the State of the Union thing, which is on the developer site later in the evening. I'm going to try and stay up and watch that. I've never actually watched that before. I think it's a bit more technical than the main dub keynote, so I think it'll be interesting. There might be some good stuff in there, but we will see. Let's have a look. Gaylord Fokker leaning towards no hardware, just announcing the Mac Pro. Nope. Gaylord, they've already taken the website down, ready to update it with the new hardware, so I'm pretty sure that we'll be seeing some stuff. James Apple, B&H Photo, Mac Mini in the Tower is supposed to be in the March event. They don't even have the SKU numbers. Okay. Well, definitely M2 is what it said. Mac Mini M1, M2 Pro, please, please, please. Yep, I would love it. Anlin Entertainment, I want to get Apple TV as a movie box that has an app for the Apple TV. It's seen some on Marketplace for around £65. Yeah, I think the Apple TV is overpriced at the minute. There has been talk of getting the kind of stick streamer version of it. I don't think that'll be at this event either, but who knows? You never know. Megan, on with you, Craig. I have my credit card ready for the new Mac Mini. Yeah, it'd be really cool if that comes out, and I'd love to see that come in colours as well, but I think that one's also less important that it comes in colours. My Mac Mini is now mounted on the wall with all the cables managed nicely around it. I think it looks quite good. God save the Dave. Absolutely. God save the iCave. We'll come round for a cuddle. Oh, well, thank you. That would be lovely. Cuddles are great. Chris Icton, I'm hoping the new iPadOS multitasking rumours include better external display support. How? Please explain to me, Chris, how you're going to do external displays on a touchscreen device where you don't actually have a separate pointing device to use that external display. I know we have the option of it, but that shouldn't... You shouldn't have to have a keyboard and mouse to be able to use external displays properly. That's my problem with it. Mac Mini Tower equals Pro in between regular Mac Mini and Studio. Yep, that's what I was saying on the show yesterday. I completely agree with you on this one. Great show, Dave. Oh, thank you so much, Craig White. Derek C., good morning. Thanks for the content today. You're very, very welcome. There's going to be a lot more of it to come. Don't you worry about that. And James Apple, what will they call macOS after the California iconic names like macOS Miami, maybe iCave Answers? I don't think they're going to go outside of California, mainly because Apple just lives in California. They make a big deal of designed in California by Apple. But I think, we've had big cats in the past. Maybe it could be planets. Maybe it could be something along those lines once we get into that next space age, which we're rapidly approaching thanks to Elon and company. The M1 Mini has less ports than the Intel version. Maybe the Mini Tower will be the higher-end Mac Mini and have a few extra ports. I mean, yeah, I think that's kind of what we've already got with the Studio. But yeah, I mean, it's only 2 extra ports, and hubs are really, really cheap, so it actually doesn't make too much difference. I got the M1 Mini. I've got a bajillion things plugged into it. And I'm also thinking it might be changing its task if something new comes out today. Who knows? We've talked about this before. I've got a Macintosh SE up there, which I would love to replace the display on with an old iPad display, and then have the Mac Mini live inside it, and maybe keep all my external hard drives in it as well, because it's quite a beefy boy. And that would become like a little home server type thing that I can then access from a laptop of some sort. I think that would be good. I think the Intel version of the Mac Mini does need to be replaced, absolutely. I'm pissed off at having Apple having the keyboard on the Apple Watch 7 and not on the 6. Surely that's just the software. They could add it. They could. Their argument was that the 7 got bigger bigger displays to make it more usable, but then they put it on the smaller version of the 7 as well. So I completely agree with you. I think that's just a weird choice that they made arbitrarily, and I think part of the reason was because the Apple Watch Series 7 basically had nothing else that was new about it apart from a slightly bigger display. There was no new sensors, there was no new anything else, because it was supposed to be the flat-sided one, and then they couldn't make it in time, so they gave us the rugged one, which is the Apple Watch Series 7. Don't listen to anyone else. The Apple Watch Series 7 is what was going to be the rugged one. Don't expect to see anything else that looks rugged. That's what's happened. Pretty sure about that. Isn't there an app for making the display full on iPad? Stop making Apple making the solution for you. I don't know what you're asking there, James. Isn't there an app for making the display full on the iPad? Stop making Apple making the solution for you. Don't know what that says, mate. Soz. Peter Holdman, Tao might just be a naming thing at B&H to refer to a non-all-in-one. The studio seems to be the Mac Mini Tower. Yeah, I would agree, but all of a sudden these things appeared like a day before WWDC. Seems a bit odd to me. Eddie Gabriel, hopefully we finally get dark mode on the watch. Yes, that would be good, actually. I think it's fairly dark yeah, I'm with you. I like that. Han, Apple Watch needs better battery, can't even last a week. Well, no, it can't last a week. It's designed to last a day. I don't want a bulky one. You can't put a bigger battery in this and still fit it on your wrist, sadly. It does a lot more than all the other watches, so that's probably why. M2 Mini Pro would be interesting. My M1 is hooked up to 2 USB port hubs and it's cable heavy on the back. I have no need for such a device, but would give me more flexibility with my config. I don't imagine that it would have that many more ports, though. It would probably have another pair of USB-C or Thunderbolt ports. Not quite sure which way they would go on that, but something along those lines. So yeah, don't expect a huge number of extra ports with that. But yeah, I also have like an 8-port USB hub attached to it, which has got all my external hard drives attached. External storage, we've got about 10 terabytes of external storage on this thing. Yeah. Mr. Jake Saman. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mr. Jake. James, Apple don't be the dream killer, Dave, for my rugged Apple Watch with the square edges. No, it's not. The square edge one won't be the rugged one. I'm telling you now. That's going to be, if anything, they'll call it a Pro. I did think they were going to go Apple Watch and Apple Watch Pro last year, actually, but they decided not to. But that would make sense for like the stainless steel options to just be called the Pro, just like with the phone. If they're introducing M2 on those MacBook Air, the redesign makes sense. Yeah, I would have thought so. Definitely love a cup of tea, 3 sugars, darling, and a cuddle watching a horror movie. Oh, I'm not a big horror movie fan, I'm afraid. Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, that was about as horror as I get. And always coffee. Always coffee. That's important to remember. Will you go on the betas this summer? IKEV answers, I'll go on the public betas. I don't go on the developer betas because I need to use my Mac for something. However, if something else comes, then I'll definitely put developer betas on as well. Han, I use an old-fashioned watch for the battery reason. Well, you can do, but it's really not a hassle to recharge it on the daily. It tells you when it's running out. It's all good. New Mac Pro with elongated Mac Studio form factor named the bread bin. Oh, I could see that happening. I mean, the trash can, the old dustbin one. I thought that was a really cool design. It was a shame that they didn't do anything to update it and keep it current. But yeah, I could see that happening, like a longer version of the Mac Studio. Let's have a quick look on Twitter, see if anything else is kicking off. Is there anything major? It doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like the world's being set on fire because more stuff's going on. But, I mean, MacBook Air is trending right now. WWDC is trending. Apple Store is trending. It's, yeah, it's a busy day. And by the end of the day, Boris Johnson, the British Prime Minister, might have been kicked out, which will be delightful. Anyway. Dave, you're right. I can get jiggy with Doctor Strange too. Excellent stuff. Good to know. Cool, guys. I think we're going to wrap up this little live stream here, just so I can get on and make sure that everything's ready to go. Oh, we have a chat. We have a super chat. Thank you, Gaylord Fucker. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Strong boss. Love it. Very much appreciated. By the way, is that mask that you're wearing, is that a Bane mask, or is that like is that a Mortal Kombat one? I can't quite tell. Okay, we'll hang on a little bit more since I've been paid now. It's not so bad. Yeah. So we've got a whole bunch of stuff going on here in the UK today. It's going to be a very exciting day. Oh, Hannah, a dream would be Apple bringing back the Xserve ARM server for the cheap. But that would mean Apple would need to provide more details on how Apple Silicon works. That would be interesting. Joe, upvoted for the Bojo comment. Well, yeah, I don't think he's super popular. I don't think it was super controversial to say that. Don't particularly want him here. Oh, that's your mask for work. Oh, it looked like cosplay. It was far more exciting when it was for work. Let's watch Black Phone. It's a horror movie coming out soon. I'll cuddle you if you get scared. Ah, why, thank you so much. Oh, Jurassic World on Friday. Yeah, it's Domination, right? That one's going to be pretty good. Gaylord Fucker. Oh, you're a nurse. Oh, awesome. Very awesome. We've spent a lot of time with nurses in the last 3 or 4 years, but now Ted is much better. He's rung his bell. He's finished his chemo, so that's all really nice. Wave Ickle, thank you so much for the super chat as well. I really appreciate it. So this is our quick, easy little live stream for now. Oh, James has just put up. I'm assuming I'm gonna pin it, hoping that this is my later live stream today. So if anyone wants to head over there and make sure that you have your reminders set, we will be chatting right before the event, and we will be chatting. Well, I mean, I will probably comment throughout the event as well, although I won't be probably particularly, I don't know, entertaining during it, but you will get my immediate reactions to the stuff that's going on, and it's going to be really good. I do want to say thank you as well to anyone that put any money in. Ted did like a crowdfunder thing and spent a day down in London and bought loads of stuff at Hamley's, and he had a lovely time. So yeah, he's basically done. He's got another month of antibiotics, and then we're all set. Alan asks, which dongle will you recommend for a MacBook Pro M113? Want to have Ethernet, HDMI, and USB-C 2. Too many choices on Amazon and eBay. The one thing that I haven't done is one with Ethernet. I've tried a few out for the MacBook Air M1, and the one that we had actually had a wireless charger built into the top as well that you could charge both the Apple Watch and iPhone on top of. I will have to have a look back in the... Oh, you can find it in our reviews section on the channel, so it's definitely in there. Yeah, man. So I think we're about done. I'm trying to think. Let me have a look into it, and if you're in the next chat, I will make sure I've got the link ready for you for that dongle. But otherwise, I'll have a look for an Ethernet one for you as well. Thank you all so much for being here for this little stream. We've done 50 minutes. Just under, so I think we can probably wrap this one up now. And yeah, please make sure that you hit up the link up in the chat there, the pinned comment. That will give you your reminder for later so that you don't miss it, because the last thing you want is to miss WWDC because you forgot to put on your reminders. And if anyone here hasn't subscribed yet, I'm like 100 off getting to 11,000, which would be awesome to do in the next day or so. So if you haven't subscribed, thank you. Please do. I really appreciate it, and we will catch you guys later on in the next stream. Thank you so much. We'll see you then, and have a good dub day.